Nevertheless, we have issues with our politicians who are always trying to, I guess, thread the needle on both sides. Joe Biden's in a tough spot with that because, the Jewish vote typically goes to Democrats. There's no secret about that. Um, and I guess the Muslim vote generally does too. But now he's in a situation where some of the Jews might not like him because he seemed to have come out in favor of the Palestinians, and he's trying to get Israel to make a bad deal with Hamas before getting all hostages back. And he doesn't want to lose the vote in Michigan, which is a swing state. And there are a whole lot of people from the Middle East, many of them Muslims, who live in Michigan. Um, I have relatives who live up there, and they jokingly call it Michiganistan sometimes. But um, we've got a lot of serious issues, and people tend to vote for a president thinking they're going to be able to fix everything. But if we really followed the Constitution in this country, it wouldn't really matter much who the president was. The main job of the president of the United States is to serve as commander in chief. Just like the main job of the vice president is to preside over the Senate and obviously to fill in if the president is sick or otherwise, unable to perform his or her duties. And then you have the vice president also tends to go around and attend funerals on behalf of the United States. So it's sort of a stepping stone. This year, uh, assuming Joe Biden is still the nominee after August, and I have a theory about some crazy shenanigans going on at the Democrat convention. Um, but assuming he is the nominee still after that, and Trump is not locked up in a prison cell somewhere and he's still running, um, with both of them being rather elderly and not in the best physical and mental health, the choice for vice president is going to be downright crucial this year. Um, you're going to have somebody who's young enough to be able to step in and do the job and complete the president's term and run in 2028 as an incumbent. People are going to be looking at that. It's not just somebody who's a figurehead or somebody to balance the ticket anymore. Um, and these two elderly gentlemen are a lot alike in some ways because of their age and everything, but they're very different in their ideology. And you're going to also have to figure out, okay, um, what kind of nation do we want? Whose policies are going to work, and whoever the next president is. If you have a situation, let's suppose Donald Trump wins in a big landslide, he wins bigly, and the Democrats take the House and keep the Senate. What's going to happen then? Gridlock. Suppose Joe Biden wins bigly, and there's no election shenanigans. Let's say Biden wins honestly, and then you have the Republicans take the Senate, and the Republicans control the House. Well, then what? Which is worse? Trump facing a Democrat legislature or Biden facing off against a Republican legislature? Now, some of my friends will say gridlock is good. Then there's the two other people in the race, RFK Jr. and the libertarian Chase Oliver. Now, if neither one of them are included in the presidential debates, which they probably won't, they're going to be less significant. If they were included in the debates, which they should, morally they should, if they are on enough ballots to win 270 electoral votes. I don't, it's not my circus, not my monkeys. I don't work for the Presidential Debate Commission. I'm just throwing out a couple things I thought of when I was walking on the track at the gym today. That's when I do a lot of my thinking. We definitely live in some interesting times, and has the nation been this polarized before? I think it has. I don't think this is the most polarized time in our history. We just see it because of social media. 1980 was kind of contentious. Even the 92 race was a little contentious, and you had Ross Perot in there. You had a three-way race, and they you know, but that was pre-internet. We didn't have 24-hour news. We didn't have YouTube, TikTok, FaceTime, Facebook, Yahoo News. We didn't have all these, online bulletin boards, Snapchat, Instagram, and all that other stuff, Twitter. That wasn't around then. So, a lot of people did their battle on talk radio and on, letters to the editor. Times have changed. I don't think we're more divided now than ever before. It just seems that way because it's so quick. Somebody can go out and post something on Twitter and 5,000 people see it. So, but I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I The Republican Party left me around 1996, 1997. I was a libertarian for 25 years, and now I'm just a libertarian-ish independent. I'm a little bit of constitutional conservative, classical liberal, federalist, like libertarian a little bit. I don't fall into a box. That's why this election is so troublesome for me. And I'm registered to vote in Virginia, which is pretty much a blue state. So, our electoral votes they'll go to Biden if he's the Democrat nominee. Anyway, I don't do this to argue with people. I'm just throwing it out there, getting off what I think. If you agree with me, that's fine. If you don't agree, that's fine too. You know, most people in the comments are being pretty civil. There's a couple people get a little cranky, but that's okay. I can be cranky too. It's just, I'm just one man. I'm living overseas, trying to enjoy life and, share some of my thoughts and observations. And I watch a lot of other people's YouTube channels too. And I have people who are like, they're to the left of Fidel Castro, and I have other people who are to the right of Genghis Khan, and just about everybody in between. So, anyway, have a good night.